and today we're gonna read Ivy and Ben's story. Finally, it's new book and a new story. It's called Doomed to Dance. Ivy and Ben Doomed to Dance. It's number 6 book, and today we're gonna start reading at the first chapter and then we're reading at the next chapter. Okay, now are you ready for read this one book with a lot of stories? Now here we go. Now first we can read Ivy and Ben Doomed to Dance, starting at first chapter. First chapter, Ball It or Bust story. Okay, now let's start. It was a book that started all the trouble. Read, read, read. That's all grown-ups ever say to me, said Ben. But when I finally do read, I get in trouble. She slumped in her chair. And then the grown-ups take a book away. Ivy nodded. It's totally not unfair, she agreed. And they shouldn't blame us anyway. It's all Grandma's fault. Ivy's grandma had sent her the book. It was called the Royal Book of Ball It. Each chapter told the story of the different ballad, with pictures of fancy girls in the fluttery tutus and satin toe shoes. Ben was at Ivy's house on the day it arrived. They were supposed to be subtracting, but they were tired of that, so they ripped open the package and sat down side by side Ivy's couch and looked at the Royal Book of Ball It. I heard that sometimes their toes bleed when they were dancing, said Ben. The blood leaks down through the satin part. That was gross, said Ivy, turning to the page suddenly. She stopped. Whoa, Nellie, murmured Ben, staring. She's kicking his head off? Asked Ivy in a whisper. That's what it looked like, said Ben. And what's this one called anyway? Ivy flipped a few pages. Gazelle, she said, reading quickly. It's about a girl named Gazelle who dances with this Duke guy, but he's going to marry with a princess, not Gazelle. So she takes a sword and stabs herself. Ben and Ivy found a picture of that. Ew, said Ben. But interesting. Yeah. And then she turns into the ghost with all of these other girls. They were called the Wheels. The picture showed a troupe of a beautiful woman dressed in the white. They had very long fingernails. And then Ivy read on. The Duke goes to see Gazelle's grave, and she comes out with the Wheels, and they've decided to dance him into the death. Ivy stared at the picture. To death. Ben leaned over to the closer look. It was pretty amazing. Gazelle's point toe had snapped the Duke's head off, so that chin pointed straight up to the sky. It would fall off in a moment. The Wheels looked in a circle, waving long fingernails familiarly. Ben lifted off the page, wishing that she could see more of the picture, but there were no more. There never was. Wow, she said, shaking her head. She showed him. For a few minutes, Ivy and Ben sat in the silence, thinking. Ben The wheels chased Miss Novel around the house, wagging her fingernails and screaming. Finally, when they were both laughing so hard they didn't dance anymore, and they rushed into the kitchen and fell over to the floor. Well, look who's here, said Ivy's mom. She was making a dinner. Mom, Ivy said when she got her breath back, I had to take a ballet class. Ivy's mom stirred something to do something else. You had to like ice skating too. Ivy wiggled her toes. Yeah, but that was a mistake. How do you know ballet is a mistake too? Those skates were expensive. Ballet is different, Ivy explained. Ballet isn't freezing in the dump. Ballet is pretty, and it's good for you. I'm going to take it too, Ben said. And that way, we can help each other during the hard parts. Ivy's mom looked at Ben in a surprised sort of way. You're going to take ballet? Sure, Ben's mom would be happy to let her take a ballet. Ben was certain of it. After all, Ben taught her mother's nice stuff, and ballet was nice except for the part where you dance people to death. The funny thing was, Ben's mother wasn't happy to let her take ballet, not at all. You start it, and then you decide you hate it and want to quit. No, I will love it, Ben said. I'll bet you $1 you'd hate it, said Nancy. Nancy had taken ballet when she was Ben's age. Ben remembered the time Nancy had cried because she was a chocolate bar in the ballet about candy. But I'm not going to be dorky old piece of candy, Ben said. I'm going to be a Willy. She knew it better to tell Nancy that she was going to be Gazelle, and Nancy would just make fun of her. Huh, said Nancy, you will have to do that ever they tell you to be. Nancy, said her mom, I'll discuss this with Ben Parade, please. I'll bet you, Mom, said Nancy, getting up. I'll bet $2 of a quits after a week. I'll bet you 100 I don't, said Ben. Goodbye, Nancy, said their mother. Nancy left. Then Mom turned to Ben. Now, honey, I didn't want to go in this front of Nancy, but if I do let you take a ballet, there will be no quitting. Quitting? Why do I quit? You quit softball. But that was a softball. All you do in the softball is dance around waiting for 500 years until it came to hit the stupid ball, and then you miss anyway. Ballet isn't like that. Her mother looked at her. Ben made her eyes big. I thought you wanted me to learn new things, she said. Her mother looked at her some more. Nancy got to take a ballet. Ben wiggled his lower lip, and then knew that his trembling lower lip was sad looking. Her mother laughed. You're drooling. Okay, I'll let you take a ballet one in the condition. And here is, you will go to whole lesson for months, 16 lessons of performance. No quitting and no complaining. No problem, said Ben. She jumped off and hugged her mother. When can I start? I already know how to kick. You want to say? Now is the next chapter called Dip, Dip, Crash. But I think Ben don't know what ballet is. Ballet is not to kick. Ballet is to make some beautiful and to show some of the stories, I think. But Ben didn't know the ballet is. I think Ben know the ballet is to kick. Now let's see this dip dip crash chapter for tomorrow. I think the ballet teacher have told they have to do dip and crash to do the ballet. I think is kind of silly. Now let's see it for tomorrow. Now please subscribe my YouTube and have a nice day. Bye bye.